Business Bites with Invest Northern Ireland. Thinking of growing your sales outside Northern Ireland? Visit investni.com/export for help and advice to go further and grow stronger in export markets.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Business Bites from Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. My name is David Tighe, the Managing Director of Bauer Media, and each week we delve into the world of business. And it's absolutely fantastic to welcome our guest this week. It's Anne Beggs, who's the Director of Trade and Investment at Invest NI. Anne, welcome to Business Bites.
Hello, David. Good to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And let's get straight into our conversation. Can you tell us about your role, Director of Trade and Investment? It's a big role by the sounds of it. What do you do on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, it's a big role. So, David, as Director of Trade and Investment, I head up Invest Northern Ireland's teams here in Northern Ireland that deliver all of the solutions to companies looking to expand and export beyond Northern Ireland. I also am responsible for the attraction and landing of all of those new international investors that come into Northern Ireland that you'll read about in the papers quite often. And also another very important part of what my team do is to engage with the Northern Irish diaspora around the world through our Northern Irish Connections initiative. So that's people who have perhaps left here and moved to other countries around the world, or those that just have a strong affinity for Northern Ireland. That's an immensely powerful tool that we have in our toolkit to bring in trade and investment opportunities for Northern Ireland. And day to day, naturally, given the remit, that full remit of things that I have in my area, I engage very closely with Invest NI's overseas network of international offices. We have people currently in 24 locations around the world, and we're expanding that at present. And so work very closely with those people who are the boots on the ground across multiple geographies that are really identifying opportunities for Northern Ireland. But also are the very important kind of resource that handhold businesses from Northern Ireland when they go to those markets. So that's it in a nutshell. So any day of the week, I could be dealing with one part of the world very early in the morning, another part of the world very late at night, David. So it's full on, but a really exciting and important role.
Well, I imagine you're very busy, and let's just talk a little bit about that role. So why is it so important to increase sales from businesses in our part of the world to markets outside of the region?
Yeah, so basically put, David, Northern Ireland has a population of about 1.9 million people. So we naturally have a ceiling on that domestic demand for goods and services in Northern Ireland. So if we want to grow our businesses and the economy overall, we absolutely need to broaden our horizons into new markets around the world. And there are very clear kind of economic benefits for Northern Ireland, as you can imagine. Having businesses from here that showcase world-class products and services from Northern Ireland around the globe is immensely important. But those businesses also tend to create very well-paying jobs as they grow through that export journey. But at a business level, businesses that sell externally and export their services and products around the world have the opportunity to increase their sales, increase their profits as well. But very importantly, it also, having a wider range of markets that businesses sell to, reduces their risks of being reliant on only one, and there being fluctuations in demand in those markets or whatever. So having that exposure to a much wider range of customers across a whole range of territories and geographies around the world makes businesses in Northern Ireland much more resilient to kind of fluctuations in demand. And we've obviously experienced a lot of that in recent years, to say the least. I suppose the other point is that businesses that are exporting tend to be more creative and more innovative. So you can imagine that if you have a business that is selling its product or service to multiple kind of geographies and different types of customers, they're constantly having to evolve their offering of their product and service to meet the demands of that very diverse customer base. And also because they're out there selling into a wider range of markets, they're being exposed to more competitors and have to continue to innovate and keep up and actually exceed the expectations of customers to win the business versus their competitors around the world. So they would be the primary reasons why we would want to see more businesses here getting out there and doing just that.
Well, that sounds absolutely great. Give us an idea outside of, I mean, there might be plenty of businesses that have had to look at GB or ROI,
Mm.
but let's go beyond that.
Yeah.
What opportunities are out there beyond, our nearest neighbours?
Yeah, so we do have a significant proportion of businesses here in Northern Ireland already trading very successfully into the Great Britain and the Republic of Ireland markets. I think at the last count, there's about 10,000 businesses selling into each of those, into those marketplaces. The logical next step for those companies is then to move to look at mainland Europe opportunities. So we talked about the kind of size of population as being a good indicator as to the strength of opportunity. So the Great Britain and Republic of Ireland market together, I think that the population is about 70 million. And then, but when you begin to look further into mainland Europe, that population jumps to 400 million. And Europe is home to some of those world leading market economies. The interesting thing is that a number of our exporters already into the Great Britain and Republic of Ireland markets, there's many of them are micro or small businesses. So size should not be a constraint in terms of setting that ambition. But by contrast, to that number of about 10,000 businesses selling into GB and 10,000 into the Republic of Ireland, there's probably only about 3,000 of our businesses selling consistently into the rest of Europe. Notably into markets in Germany, the Netherlands, France, Spain, Belgium and Italy. We export a lot of agri-food, food products and drink products, a lot of advanced machinery and engineered goods, etc. And they're all doing so very successfully, but we would want to see much more. So there's certainly loads of potential for Northern Irish businesses to get out and into mainland Europe and sell more. I think the other point to make, David, is that if you are a company that's already successfully trading into the Republic of Ireland market, that is an EU country. So actually then taking the next step to move to sell into mainland Europe isn't really the leap of faith or the stretch of capability that you might imagine. It's easier than you would expect. So that's what we're trying to encourage businesses to do.
And I imagine you have all the expertise there to assist anyone who wants to go on that.
We have one of our most popular programs actually is a program called Going Dutch. Okay, so we take companies that are already working in the GB and Republic of Ireland markets and take them through a program which gives them all the tools that they need to research, to plan, to prep, to go over to the Netherlands, which as a market, as the next starter market beyond these shores, is very accessible. So it's close, it's trading culture, it's business culture, is very similar. English is the language that they use in business. So it's a great starter market, and we have lots of companies going through that program that go on to sell not only very successfully into, for example, the Netherlands, but they take all of the learning and the experience that they get through that program and then apply that to a much broader range of markets as well. So that's really a fantastic program to kind of illustrate that the support, the infrastructure, all the help and guidance is there to help companies make that next step beyond these shores.
And tell us about this campaign that Invest NI is running at the minute. It really probably is going to help any business interested in expanding markets right now, isn't it?
Yes, so the campaign is called Go Further, Grow Stronger. So it basically encapsulates all of those benefits I was telling you about earlier in terms of actually expanding your range of markets beyond domestic market and these shores. And it is designed effectively to inspire and to educate and really to build that ambition in Northern Irish businesses to get out there and go further and go beyond these shores. So whenever you hear the campaign, the very next thing you should be doing is visiting investni.com/export. There's a ton of information there about what you need to think about in terms of getting ready to export. Really importantly, David, there's an export health check at that address that you can do. And that really assesses your readiness to get out there and export. It only takes about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes of your time, 8 questions, very structured. And what comes out the other side of that health check is a tailored report for you and your business in terms of what next steps you may need to take, what you might need to think about more and whatever. But one of the best outputs actually of completing the export health check is that all of those businesses that complete an export health check will be offered a one-to-one chat with an Invest NI trade advisor. So we have a team of trade experts in export that cover a whole range of industries that are there to talk to businesses to find out where they want to go to and how we can help them. And those trade advisors are the gateway to our vast overseas network, where you can tap into more on the ground in market expertise as well. So that's really about, the campaign is about driving people to have a look, do the health check, have the chat, and get out there. There's plenty of support there available. And beyond that, then, just for wider reading, there's a ton of resources out there, guides, information, advice at nibusinessinfo.co.uk. A ton of stuff there. So there's plenty of support out there, David, for businesses that want to do that, to go further, grow stronger.
And it's been fascinating hearing about all the great work you and your colleagues are doing at Invest NI. Thank you for sparing some time to tell us all about it today.
Cheers, David. Pleasure. Thank you.
Business Bites with Invest Northern Ireland. Go further and grow stronger with Invest NI. Visit investni.com/export to reach your exporting potential. Invest NI. Go further and grow stronger.